the MC, the master of ceremony. There was so much toaster. There was so much. The break dancers was way more interesting. The DJs was way more interesting. The fashion designers was way more interesting. The barber, the person who did your hair was way more interesting. But it took this woman, Sylvia Robinson, who was from St. Lucia, who went into one of those parties and said, you know who actually could be interesting? The MC. So she put a group together, and named Sugar Hill Gang. She put out a song called Rapper's Delight, and then a record industry, and then it went #1. And then a record industry said, ooh, we know where we can make money. And so they started investing in the rapper. And so the rapper became Tupac and Kendrick Lamar and all of these great MCs who has created trillions of dollars within the US economy and the global economy. K-pop is a direct descendant of that culture. And I feel like we are doing that so much when we're looking for the next painter. You know how much Old Holland paint costs? That's my aunt's entire rent if I buy a tube of Cad Red. You know, so I think we have all of these, we grew up with so much creativity, and we need to look at how creativity shows up within our community and make sure we are arguing for that.
The community, the creativity is already there.
Yes. Because that's what the YBA did. You know, I'm great friends with like Julia Payton-Jones at the Serpentine. They tell you there was 30 people in those exhibitions. And they built that economy and built that industry. I'm sure Paul Lee was there. And they argued for some of them, and some of them they weren't able to argue for more than 5 seconds. Some of them stopped making interesting works. And some of them have.